Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today I'm gonna tell you a dozen of ways to keep your pants warm during a bug out, during evacuation, or hiking, just in general. And the first thing, before we start about the tips to keep the legs and the pants warm, before we start, if you're interested in detective stories, there will be a link to my book called Bloody Crosses. It's in Dutch. There will be a description in link. So, the first thing, as you can see, is my favorite way to keep my legs warm during a bug out. I just came out from a bug out exercise and it's freaking cold outside. It's like -5 degrees Celsius. So the thing is, usually most people, if they try to keep them warm, they have the jacket. They usually have the jacket, the hat, and something for the hands. But usually the legs are something that are the least covered. The reason why is because you still have to be mobile. For example, with these old jackets, you can just take the backside and put it in the folds. Excuse me for this. So usually you will need your legs because you need to climb up stuff, you need to jump over stuff, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, and that could be problematic to keep your legs warm, because your legs, they need to be maneuverable, but there are several ways to keep them warm. The first thing that I always do to keep my legs warm, especially when it's cold like that, is just wearing a very long sock. Just like with the great kilt, I wear a sock to my knees, and that is a large portion that is usually more heated. The more, the merrier. So that's the first thing you can do, wearing long socks. You can also wear one of your, especially ladies, there are tie socks that come through here, but usually these are made out of cotton, and the wool socks that I always wear are made of wool. And that is important because wool is a great material, like I always said. Even when it gets wet by sweat, by mist, snow, rain, even when it's fully soaked wet, it will retain some of its insulation value. So that's the first thing you can do if you wear regular pants. The second thing I would say is, what kind of pants do you wear? When I go on a very long bug out, I always wear cargo pants. And the reason why is because some people say, why don't you wear something like just jeans? But I made a video about why jeans is not a good bug out material for your pants. But something like like I said, a cargo pants, or something like this, a jogging pants. The reason why I say cargo pants is because it's something that can dry really fast and it's white. It's very, very roomy, and that is the important thing. And the same thing goes with these jogging pants. I just came back with this, and these are very roomy. Because if the wind is going to blow against your leg, you don't want a tight-fitting material, because if the wind blows against the material, it is also against the leg. So if it's very roomy, there is some space between where the warmth of the warm air from your body, from your legs, is getting through. So it's like a insulating barrier in a way. So yeah, of course some things will be against the body, but you will have more warmth in some loose pants. And the second thing that you could do is wear 2 pants above. Yeah, perhaps I'm going to open this because now it's getting really hot in here. And I just did a long bug out exercise. Like I said, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the materials. So a very roomy pants is very important in that regard. And yeah, the thing is, if it's really cold, you can wear 2 pants above. So if you got your regular pants, for example, you can put some roomy pants in your bug out bag. But if you are in a bug out scenario, you usually wear something that you wore during the evacuation. Perhaps you wore some jeans, but jeans are very tight fitting against your skin. So if you got a roomy pants, you can pull those pants above them. So that could be very helpful in that scenario. 2 pants make you a little bit less mobile. There is some chance that there will be friction, especially some scathing around here. Could be very problematic. But what I always like to carry in the cold is my long jacket, my great coat. And the reason why is, as you can see, if I wore it like this, you can see that the material almost comes to my above my ankles. So wind that blows against this will mostly be blocked, and some of the warmth will be gathered inside. Because it is open, because you still have to move around. Yeah, but it is a great way for regulation. Like you can see, if you really connect it to the back side, you have your legs free. If it's too warm, you can make it loose, close it up, and now it's like a walking sleeping bag, but a very mobile one. So that could be very handy in that regard. I'm gonna take this off. Another thing you can do is, instead of wearing, if you don't have woolen socks, or you have woolen socks, and this is a small trick that I told in another video, you can wear panties beneath it. Yeah, you may laugh, but hunters and people in the army, in the military, use panties for several reasons, like insect cannot cling on to it that easily or pierce to it. It can help against caving or some you know, those things that if you walk too much, those bulges that you get on your feet. I've forgotten the English name from it, but you know what I mean. So that will reduce friction, and it will keep warmth inside of more warmth of your body inside of it, because there is some small room between that is like in isolation. So wearing panties is a good way for your whole body and can also help against caving. So that's also something that you can do. You can also wear just regular panty material like this. So yeah, but it is not only panty material. I don't have one of those netting socks, but if you're especially a lady, have some of those nylon socks with how do you say this, like netting material inside of it. That is also a good material, because perhaps I can show you with this, because just like a mesh scarf which has a lot of holes between it, if you have a sock like it, like a nylon sock, you can imagine if it's wrapped if you put the sock around your leg, there are a lot of holes between it. Those holes are pockets of warm air, and your pants material cannot touch your skin. So the wind that will blow against it will never reach your skin, but there will be pockets of warm air between each and one of those squares, so to say. So if you're especially a lady has no use for our netting socks, you can use them for in that regard. So that's another thing you can do. Another thing you can do is wearing gaiters. I made a video about the reason why to make gaiters. These are like waterproof socks that you wear on the outside of your pants, but if you wear it something like this, then this part of your leg will be kept warm. Problem is, because it's waterproof, usually it will contain most of the moisture. So that's important that you wear woolen socks or cotton socks, that it will guide the water a little bit more above. But it's a good way to keep your legs warm if there is cold wind coming in front of it. Another thing you can do, and this is something that I wore when I was hiking a mountain in Scotland, because it was very unpredictable how the weather in on the mountain area was. So that one moment it could be full blown mist, the other moment it could rain, even snow. So it was very unpredictable how the weather was. So what I did was I wore my regular cargo pants, but I wore this above it when it was getting wet. So I could put this over my boots and over my pants and wear it like this. And it is one of those bicycle pants, so you don't get wet while riding a bicycle. But for walking, hiking, it can also help to retain some of the warmth, block out wind and water like rain, mist, so your pants will get wet and they will retain more of the warmth that way. So that is something you can do, but the problem yet again is, because it's waterproof, it will keep on a lot of moisture like sweat and perhaps some moisture that is already on top of your pants before you put it on. So that's could be very problematic. So it's more like a short-term solution if you have to walk to a certain destination that you see that you know there it's dry, but I will have to walk through the rain or the mist or the snow or something. So this is something that you can wear as an extra protection layer to keep you extra warm. So we talked about, I think we got almost all the things, but if you don't have all that gear with you, so you only have your bug-out bag, you can improvise. For example, you can do leg wrappings. For example, that's also a thing you can do. You can have, you know, those bandages. You can take bandages, or you can take professional woolen leg wraps, like they used in the World War I, and they wrap from the boots all the way up to the legs and could be around the knees. And because it's wool, it will retain a lot of its warmth. But you can also improvise it with perhaps rolls of bandages that you have, and make it with a cloth pin. You can attach it at the end to make sure that it will not fall off or get loose. So that's another thing you can improvise, or you can buy to yet again keep your legs warm. Another thing you can do is underpants is perhaps a little bit between the legs and the upper body, but this part usually also get cold. I would advise get underwear made out of either cotton or merino wool. I prefer the merino wool because it stopped me from shaving during long hikes, retain moisture. So and if it gets wet, it will still keep me warm. So underpants of merino wool, or perhaps one of those how to say this? Those thermo pants. You know, those long. It's like a panty but made with thermal material. For the winter time that you wear beneath your clothing. I would say that's also something good you can use. But the problem I have with that is usually it's made out of synthetic materials. And the problem is, if you're going on evacuation or a long hike, from day 1 to 2, if you walk, and it will contain sweat, but because wool, that's another thing good about wool pull out only moisture from your skin, not oil. And synthetic materials pull out also the oil from your skin. And what will this oil do? That will feed bacteria, and it will start to smell like a gym bag that has been left for 2 days. So that's a bad thing. And these bacteria could also be giving infections if you have cuts, scrapes, or shavings on your legs. So that could be problematic. So that's something that you need to watch out for. It's a good material for a short period of time, but I would say if it's longer than 2 days, then I would say get certainly something out of wool. So you can also take your chamois and do the same thing, cut it in two and wrap it around your legs, inside or outside of the pants, depending on what you think is best, and also to keep the legs warm. That's also something you can do. I heard some people say that they stuff during war situations, they stuff their pants with insulating material. So you take something like hay or newspapers, fumble it up, and they close down the pipes of their pants with something, with a rope, and they stuff their pants with these insulating materials like hay or crumbled paper. So that will create some layers of air that will be insulating. But yeah, the downside is you will stay warm, but if you're going to walk for a longer distance, it will scrape against your skin. So it's like a last-ditch improvised thing you can do in that regard. But people in the past have survived that, like prisoners who escaped from a gulag camp, or German soldiers during World War II, that kind of stuff. People had survived in that regard, but it's with a cost, so to say. So another thing to keep your legs warm is I would say is keep some discipline with the food. So keep your body core. As long as you keep your body core warm, there is still the warm blood going to the legs. Very important. So that's something you need to check. Get enough calories, because if you lose calories, your body will produce less heat, and less heat will go to the legs. That's another thing. Stay dry. So like I said, try to stay out of the rain, or make ways to make sure that the rain will not get. But also make sure that moisture can evaporate out, or change socks regular so the moisture will not stay on top of your legs and it will freeze during a very cold evacuation or bug out. It can be very dangerous. So yeah, it's all about keeping balance is what I'm trying to say. But as long as you keep your your body core warm, it's going to be all right. But these are the things you need to watch out for. There are improvised ways, like I said. And if you know any other way that I have not mentioned yet, please let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn new things, try out new things, and see if they are working. So yeah, I would say like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and see you in the next video. Cheers.